Hello guys, so today I'm going to be talking about some of my favourite products that are makeup products but that have skincare benefits at the same time. And I don't think I've ever really done a video like this before, but I'm really excited for this concept because in my opinion, when I find products that have skincare benefits when they're like doing something visually as well, it's like the dream combination, right? Because a lot of the time when you're putting makeup on your skin, you're kind of feeling like, oh, this isn't good for my skin. So finding makeup products that are good for your skin at the same time, it's the dream. This video is also in collaboration with bareMinerals as part of an exciting new launch for them, which I'm going to show you now. So I have 5 different products to show you, and I'm going to start off with the new bareMinerals launch, which is a tinted version of their Hyaluronic Hydra-Powder. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with the original Hyaluronic Hydra-Powder, this has been out for years, and it is possibly one of the most unique textured powders I've ever experienced. I've used this on and off over the years and I've always really loved it. You really have to feel this to kind of believe how lightweight and how finely milled it is. It's an exceptionally soft and subtle powder to use on the skin, and the reason why this is a kind of skincare benefit makeup product is because it's formulated with hyaluronic acid, so it's really moisturizing for the skin as well. And I know this sounds wrong because a lot of the time you think about powder and you think dry skin, cakey makeup, and if you have dry skin or if you struggle with powders because they make your skin look drier or cakier, then you definitely should check this out because it is a powder. It mattifies, it smooths everything out, and it kind of sets your makeup perfectly, but it's not drying. Another thing that's interesting about this powder is that bareMinerals also recommend that you can use it overnight over your skincare, the clear one, probably not the tinted one, over your skincare to lock in moisture in your skincare because it has that hyaluronic acid content in it, which is super unusual as well. So this is a really special powder, and until recently they've only done it in translucent. This month they're launching it in 8 different shades, and this is really interesting as well because the shades are quite varied. So there are 8 different shades. The 2 shades that I personally use are 200, which is the natural shade, and then 500, which is the medium dark, and I actually use this as a bronzer or a kind of warming powder for my face. It's not quite as pigmented as a bronzer, and that's one thing that I must say about these powders. They are really quite special because they're not super pigmented like a powder foundation. They really are a gorgeous setting powder that isn't going to add that too heavy kind of cakey look to your makeup. So a lot of the time with tinted powders, I feel like if you put them on top of a foundation, it's way too much, whereas these are super light but they still add that little something of a tint, and using the darker tones as a bronzer works really well. If you are a lighter skin tone like me, it works super well. They also have an apricot toned one and a pinkier toned one, depending on what you want for your skin, you know, if you want a brightening effect or something like that. So these really are fantastic in terms of being that perfect kind of balance between setting your makeup and mattifying and smoothing everything out but not being drying, because they are formulated with that hyaluronic acid, which is fantastic. I am also going to be giving away or having just a big bareMinerals giveaway, because it's going to be more than just these powders, over on my Instagram this week. So if you want to check that out, head over to my Instagram. The other thing I wanted to say is the rest of this collection, if you haven't tried it out, there's also the Hyaluronic Hydra Primer. I've used this for years. I actually used the previous, I don't know if you guys have been watching for a long time, you might remember. I used the previous one that they had before this, which is now discontinued, which was a tinted version. This is actually just a clear, well, it's not clear, it's like white, it's a cream toned primer, which again is formulated with hyaluronic acid. So if you're wanting a primer that isn't kind of matte or isn't drying, but at the same time isn't greasy like a hydrating primer, it's hard to describe it without trying it in real life, but it's like almost has this cooling kind of moisturizing effect that really is just incredible. So they also have the primer that goes really well with the powder, and they've also just launched the dual-ended brush. I'm a fan of everything dual-ended, but this has a powder brush on one and a foundation brush on the other. So if you want to win some of these goodies, head over to my Instagram. So that is the first kind of makeup with skincare benefits. The second one is kind of staying on the base level, I've got a couple more that go kind of under your foundation. And this is a really unusual product, which I wouldn't have tried if it weren't for my friend Lucy recommending it to me. This is the Sensai Bronzing Gel. Sensai is quite a, I feel like it's not a very unknown brand in the UK. It's a Japanese brand, and this is their bronzing gel. So essentially what this is a bronzing gel, as the name would suggest. It's a liquid bronzer, but it also has SPF in it. Now, granted, it only has SPF 6. I kind of wish it had more, but what I do like using this for is kind of just over the top of my primer to add a little bit of glow underneath my foundation. If I'm feeling a little bit paler or I want to add a little extra something, this is really, really good for that. And it doesn't add anything. Like, it doesn't add any feeling to the skin. It's super, super lightweight. It has that added SPF 6. So if you are kind of like layering SPFs, obviously they don't add up, but it does give you that little bit of extra coverage. So I've been using that for probably a couple of years now. I really like that. And then the next one is one that I've spoken about quite a lot recently. So if you've been watching a lot of my videos, then maybe skip the next minute. But this is the Tan-Luxe Super Glow Serum. I'm obsessed with this. Again, this is a hyaluronic based product, but you can use it before you're using your powder and before you're using your primer. It's a serum, hyaluronic serum, that has fake tan. Ideal. Kills two birds with one stone. Skincare, kind of makeup. I feel like fake tan counts as makeup because it's like halfway in between skincare and makeup. Anyway, this stuff is amazing. You need to try it to believe it. And then moving on to more kind of coverage-based makeup, there are quite a lot of concealers out there that are based around kind of not being bad for blemishes. And I remember really distinctly when I was younger, one from Rimmel that really actually, I think it was like Cover the Blemish or Hide the Blemish or something. And it was just so cakey and so heavy and just never worked for me. Whereas this one, I feel like, was it Hide the Blemish? No, it was that green treatment one, the corrector one. Because Hide the Blemish was actually quite good. Anyway, Rimmel did one with like a treatment colour correcting thing and it just, no. This one is from bareMinerals, which is called Blemish Rescue. Now, you guys know I'm a big fan of bareMinerals base. I really like it, whereas this concealer does a really good job of kind of bridging that gap between giving you full coverage, but yet not being too cakey, but at the same time having ingredients in it that are good for blemishes. So it has salicylic acid in the formula. So it's called a skin clearing spot concealer. And it also comes in a kind of pen applicator, so it's easy to apply to blemishes, as opposed to kind of being a wet product that you're like putting in and then putting it back in the pot, or you have to apply with your hand. You can just get it right on there, where you need the coverage. And in my experience, this is actually really good. It kind of stops your blemishes getting any worse by putting makeup on top of them, and at the same time it's kind of helping to treat them and covering them up. Because I feel like a lot of the time if you have bad skin or blemishes, you kind of don't want to put makeup on them because you know it's bad for them, but at the same time you want to cover them up, and you're in this like vicious cycle of covering up and making your skin worse at the same time. Another product that is really good for avoiding that kind of situation is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. This is a product that's had so much press because it is freaking brilliant. Like, honestly, this is one of those products that kind of does it all. So this is the colour correcting full coverage cream with anti-aging and hydrating serum and SPF 50. So as you can tell, it kind of does everything. It's a full coverage foundation. It doesn't feel heavy or cakey. It's very moisturising. It's more like a tinted moisturiser consistency. Has the SPF 50 in there, so it's like got you covered in terms of SPF. And it's full coverage. Like, a lot of products like this are light coverage. This is really great, full coverage. What else can I say about it? It has anti-aging, hydrating properties as well, which, I mean, just add those in there too. But it is great. I really, really love this product. I've spoken about it for years. And the one thing I would say is they don't have the best colour selection, but it's the kind of product that I feel like it adapts to your skin a little bit as well, which is very unusual for a high coverage product. But like, I can use light and medium kind of interchangeably with this, depending on how tanned I am, but sometimes this one is light and then sometimes I'll use medium as well. Yeah, so that is it for my video, my top 5 products of makeup that has skincare benefits. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, a bit of a different concept. Like I said, never done it before. A big thank you to Terry for working with me on this, and head over to my Instagram, like I said, to check out my giveaway, because I know I've done a few giveaways with them in the past and you guys have loved them. So it's a gorgeous, gorgeous brand that I've used for years, and I'm super excited to be working with them again. So yeah, head over to Instagram and check that out, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.